Friends, rivals, fellow Americans, we currently live in a difficult time. All around us, there are numerous competing parties, countless different perspectives and positions that we are expected to vote for when the time comes. New experimental treatments for various ancestral conditions are coming into the public eye, and old wounds, old scores, old enemies rear their head in an attempt to destabilize our fair republic. People at the top, on both sides, throw their money behind the same old corrupt, scandalous enterprises that benefit them and their tiny, hallowed few by impoverishing you and telling you that it is your fault, that you are the one who is not working hard enough, that you can do without while they do with everything. They tell us that we should make up our minds, while never giving us the information we need to form educated opinions and stand on firm epistemological positions. And even then, even if we look past the lot of the plutocrats waving their money in the faces of those they never intend to be able to grab hold of it, even if it wasn't about the rich versus the poor, even as they tell us that it's about the left versus right, we still have decisions to make. We have choices to consider. We want to make things better in our nation for ourselves and our families and friends. All of us agree that things need to change. But how do we decide what it is that needs changing? How do we decide how to change those things and what to change them to? Do we merely rely on the next strongman dictator, the next charismatic politician to make the choice for us and tell us that we'll like it and benefit from it? Are we to merely trust our leaders to make the right decision for us as they chuckle about in their private offices and smirk about how they can get away with literal murder in front of cameras on national television? Isn't that how we got where we are today? Isn't that clearly a way that will drive us into ruin? Left or right, Democrat or Republican, old white man or young black woman, isn't our future too important to put in the hands of a single person and their select few? Don't we want something a bit more guaranteed than that? How can we really tell what is best? How can we trust those in charge to do the right thing for us? The fact of the matter is that we cannot. The truth facing us is that all of our perceived ideological opponents and heroes alike are mere fallible human beings, mere mortals. And the forces they claim to answer to, the gods and spirits, kinship and karma they claim to revere, has not stopped them from acting in their best interest before the well-being and health of the nation as a whole. So we can only assume that their spiritual authorities are mere fallible mortals as well. Surely there must be some sort of process, then, that can weed out the fallibility of mere mortals. A system of review that actively challenges the experiment in question to prove itself beyond reasonable doubt, constantly attacking it from all sides and requiring it to stand completely independent of its creators. It must be flexible, universal, well thought out, tried and tested, and open to the wider world to ensure the largest possible field of separate, unrelated actors to eliminate all possible biases and confounding factors. If someone in Kansas did something wrong, we want people in Hawaii calling them out for it. If someone in Alaska mucks up an experiment and delivers data from a methodologically flawed source, we want people in Florida replicating the experiment and showing them where they failed. We need to put our scientists to the test, and we need to put them to the test against each other. The system needs to be so available and open to all that a fifth grader in Puerto Rico can correct a university professor in Guam. And what system, you might ask, could allow this sort of entirely public process for the whole world? What method could weed out the bias and public ridicule and put even the highest academic experts to the test? We present to you peer review. With its first vestiges being put forth by the British Royal Society in 1665, it now relies on the countless millions of scientists the world over to test and correct each other's work. Through peer review, we can foster a competitive scientific culture that will continue to show the greatness of our nation for centuries to come. And this is not some mere nuh-uh-ing we're talking about. Peer review is about showing your work and having others show theirs. It is about getting results and putting those forward for others to put to the test. Over the last 3.5 centuries, we've been actively challenging each other in the world of science, and we in the New Bull Moose propose that, with government assistance and the aid of the growing national community of science communicators, we can take the process even further. We can open up the process to greater and more open opportunities to citizen scientists. We can encourage more budding science communicators to step out into the limelight and do their part to educate the populace. And we can show the nation exactly what they're doing. Because we believe that science will save us all. We believe that all of the ills of our current era can be remedied with the proper application of scientific research and action. And not just the science we personally like, but all of it. We need to put absolutely everything to the test. And if we do, we'll come out better for it. That includes all of our scientists. That includes our authority members. That includes your friend on Facebook. We need to be thorough and work hard, burning that midnight oil for a better future, to take back our future. These ancient rich fogies in office right now are obsessed with what they can preserve. They are hell-bent on holding the future of the world in their wrinkled, shaking hands and clamping down on it with an iron grip until their rotten old hearts fail. Why do you think they want to drill, baby, drill? Why do you think they want to take more land for themselves at your expense? Why do you think they would want to stay here and rape the world, stealing its resources for themselves and holding us all in an artificial conflict, fighting each other instead of moving to the stars? Because we in the New Bull Moose care not to drill, baby, drill unless it's on the fucking moon. We don't want the Riviera of the Middle East with our name plastered all over big glowing towers where people are forced to pay a billionaire just to live in their homeland, because we want the Riviera of Mars. Climate change? More like climate control. Asteroid mining? More like asteroid tethering. Cut down half a mountain of trees to put up solar farms? Goodness, no, silly. No! We will be cutting down half of Mercury to make a Dyson swarm and provide clean, free power to the rest of the world for the next 4 billion years. Don't accept the petty handouts of billionaire plutocrats who spend all of their time making shitty AI slop videos and plastering them on our nation's government websites. Stop gleefully devouring the garbage they in the upper class feed you to keep you complacent and easily manipulated into fighting each other on the streets. Stop supporting those who will keep you down. Support the candidate who raises you up. Support the party that seeks to expand our horizons and conquer the stars. Not some petty place in the Middle East, not some tiny speck of land on this pale blue dot. Vote for the people who will better humanity, not better themselves. With a science-first America, we can take back the greatness we once claimed. We can make a world that is better for everyone, starting with our own people first. Diseases can be eradicated completely. Poverty can be stricken from the record. Malnutrition can become an obsolete term fit only for the use in medical school and space journeys. We already have this technology now. We could do it today. But instead, you vote for billionaires and private interests who have convinced you that the battle you need to fight is about left versus right, about red versus blue, that this is some sort of culture war. When in actuality, it is an information war. It is about the info haves and the info have nots. If they can keep the information from you, they can keep you down. But the light of truth cannot be hidden for long. And there are millions of people around the world dedicating their lives to revealing that light, to cutting through the lies and propaganda of the upper classes who would love nothing more than to hold you in check while they journey to the stars, while they tether those asteroids, while they claim Mars for themselves, and while they hold you under their thumbs while you wait for the world to get better under their rule, under their terms. No longer! It is clear that we can no longer wait for this future that we so desire. We need to embrace science now and we need to embrace science first. And only through this can we take back our future. And the only way we can do that is by standing strong and standing together, which is why you should vote David A. Gray for president in 2028, because the choice is all too clear. Don't vote for someone who will hold you down. Vote for someone who will bring you up. Up out of poverty. Up out of ignorance. Up out of all of the problems that we've ever known before. Up to the stars. Vote progressive. Vote Bull Moose.